For Bloomfield College, for the nursing program, we have the traditional Bachelor of Science in Nursing. That's how the majority of our incoming freshmen will go through the program, as well as our traditional undergraduate students from transferring from a community college or another four-year college into the nursing program. And those are for students that haven't already passed and received their RN license. And then we do have an accelerated RN to BSN program as well. So those are the two different tracks that we have here. There are, in order to get through the nursing program, this is how the process works. When you apply as a freshman, it's different than any other college you'll speak to, mostly in the state of New Jersey. I'm sure a lot of you have applied to nursing programs in other colleges in the state, and you'll speak to their nursing faculty, and there's two different things. You'll maybe speak to an admission counselor, and you'll go up to them and be like, oh, I'm interested in your school. What do I need to get in? And they're like, oh, you need this GPA and this SAT score. What are you interested in studying? And you're like, nursing, and they're like, wait, scratch that. You need this GPA and this SAT score. And it's completely different, and it's much higher, and it's more competitive for you to get in. However, for our nursing program, how we do it is all students who apply as freshmen, they are required to have the same GPA, SAT score for whatever major they're applying to. And for the nursing students, they come in as pre-nursing majors for their first year, for those freshmen. The same can be said for some transfer students as well if they haven't met these prerequisite courses listed here on the screen that I have. So all incoming freshman students interested in the nursing program will have to take and complete these prerequisite courses. They include our Writing 106 and Writing 107, which are general writing courses to get you introduced to college English, and any major you'll be required to take those classes as well. That's to introduce you to research writing, argumentative writing, just in general how to write a college paper. Then you'll have Math 130, which is a college math course, as well as Math 140, which is college algebra. You'll have Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, and you'll have a nutrition course. All of these courses must be completed and passed with a 2.5 or higher GPA in order to be considered for entrance into the nursing program. In addition to that, you'll also have to take and pass the TEAS exam. So it is a very competitive program to get into, and it's the same at any college that you'd be looking at for nursing. It's a very competitive field. And we'll give you a little bit of information about how our program stands out from other programs as we go along. Do I have any transfer students in the room today? Okay, so for my transfer students, you would have to, hello, welcome. No, it's okay. You would have to take and complete these courses. And if you're unsure if you have taken all of these courses, because maybe you've taken a math and you're like, oh, I don't know if my math transfers in, or I took statistics, does that take the place of one of these classes? The answer is no. But you would have to submit your official transcripts into us for us to review, and we would let you know if there's a class that you're missing. Let's say you're interested in coming in for this fall. You would have to apply by that May 1st deadline, and I would suggest applying even sooner than that, because if you apply May 1st and you're missing one of these classes, it's too late at that point to take it before the spring. Does that make sense? And so all of these classes would have to be finished by the end of the spring semester in order for you to start for the fall. So let's say you've taken English 106, 107, 130, 140, 205, 206, but you haven't taken a nutrition course, and you apply to us May 1st, and you haven't taken that nutrition course, then you'd have to wait a whole year for fall 2017 admission, because all of those classes would have to be completed by the end of the spring semester. Okay? And we could go over some more of that information as we go along. My transfer students, if you have more in-depth questions when we're done, you can feel free to pull me aside, or I'll be at the admission table afterwards, so you can come speak to me there as well. So these are the application. You fill out the application online, bloomfield.edu/apply. It's much simpler than this long, HTML. It's bloomfield.edu/apply. You're going to need to submit your official transcripts for my high school students. You'll also need to submit your SAT or ACT scores. We're also going to look for 2 letters of recommendation and an essay or a graded paper. And for my transfer students, you need a 2.5 or higher GPA, at least 15 college credits, and a C or better in those college courses. However, if you're looking to transfer directly into the nursing program, you would have had to already have fulfilled those prerequisites from the prior screen. So for our admission procedure, we take a holistic approach, especially for our incoming freshman students. We're looking at all of the documents that you provide. We also often conduct interviews for our students as well. And then once you're in as a pre-nursing student, you'll take those courses that we had listed on that prior page. You'll take them here at Bloomfield. You'll need a 2.5 or higher GPA. You'll have to also pass the TEAS exam in order to get into your clinicals and rounds. Okay. The TEAS exam is. There you go. It's a test for essential academic skills. It doesn't actually cover any nursing information. It's just a general test to test you on your math, science, English, and language usage. So you would need to take and pass that in order to get it. We do offer, and I'll go into test prep for that here. And the cost of the test is $80, but we do offer test prep here as well as tutoring for the test. And it's free for the current Bloomfield College students. It costs money for those students transferring. So these are the support services. There's the Center for Innovation and Teaching to Enhance Learning. That's our Sitel office, also known as tutoring, essentially. That's our tutoring office. They do all testing as well as tutoring here on campus. It's free of charge for our current students. So for TEAS, they have test prep as well as different workshops that you can go to. Those are free of charge. It would be silly for you not to take advantage of this. This would be if you had a free SAT prep in your high school and you didn't take advantage of it. It just does not make any sense. You might as well know what the test is going to be before you sit down for it, and you might as well study for it with people who have administered the exam. So in order to do that, you're going to want to take advantage of the free test prep and the workshops that we have. And it's $40 per hour per session for the students transferring in. So it is a lofty price if you're not a current college student here. So here are some statistics, and this is really where you kind of get the idea of how competitive it is to be a college student. And for all my incoming freshmen here interested in nursing, I want you to understand that you are not going to have the college life that other college students have. So everybody has that idea of what college is going to be like when you get here. We all know what you're thinking. Oh, I'm going to go party. I'm going to have friends. I'm going to be staying up late. I'm going to be listening to music. You're going to be studying if you're a nursing student. And if you're not studying, you're not going to succeed. And I'm going to put that out there for you right now. Nights, weekends, you name it, that is what's going to have you succeed in the program. And there's that little fact we have there. One way to spot a nursing student, they don't remember what weekends are. There is no weekend for nursing students because you are studying all the time. And it will pay off for you. I mean, I have friends who graduated at the same time as I have and have much more successful, lucrative lives than I lead because of the fact that they're nurses now. But they had a completely different college lifestyle than I had. And so it's something that you should prepare yourself for now. I know a lot of my transfer students probably already know what they're getting into, but the freshmen a lot of times don't. And I want you guys to be as successful as possible. So you really need to take it seriously when you come in for nursing because it's no joke. You need to study and you need to study hard and you need to study well. This is why. The total number of applicants we had was 250. 66 were admitted. Of those 66 admitted, new transfers were 20. Current Bloomfield College students were 23, and old transfer students were 23. So it's a mix. It's about, an even amount for each side that are getting in. But the graduation rates change from that. So of the 66 that get in, only 20 might actually graduate from the program because they're not studying, they're not passing their courses, and they're not doing what they need to do in order to be prepared in that program. Okay? So these are the TEAS score exams. This is how our students have fared on the TEAS getting in. So most students are getting a 60 or better on that TEAS exam to be admitted into the program. We're going to hear from our faculty in a second, but we have, for the program that we offer, as competitive as it is, we post the highest passing rate in the state of New Jersey on the NCLEX. A 94% passing rate this past year, and consistently since I've been here, we've had above a 90% passing rate. We've always been one of the top schools in the state, and I've been here for 8 years. So we have a very strong program for getting our students to pass that NCLEX, and if you don't pass that NCLEX, you're not an RN. So it's very important to take that test and to pass it. And you can find out all the passing rates for different schools in the state of New Jersey via this website here. I would definitely look into that because there's some big name schools that you would expect to have excellent nursing programs that are struggling on passing their students on the test. So be prepared for that, okay? We do have a bunch of different scholarship opportunities, and we can talk about that later, but most of ours are merit-based for incoming students. 3.0 or higher GPA, 900 or higher math and critical reading combined SAT score for freshmen will get you a merit-based scholarship, and for our transfers, 3.0 or higher GPA with 30 or more credits will get you a transfer scholarship. This is George Fernandez. He was unable to be here today, but he's kind of our nursing guru. Not necessarily for incoming freshmen, but for any transfer students coming into the program, as well as any students doing the RN to BSN program, as well as any adult students. He is your contact person. And for our incoming freshmen, your counselors are divided by your counties. So, for instance, I have Atlanta County. I see some Atlanta County students in the room. I have Bergen County. So we split up our territories by county. And you can find all that information on our website. These are just some cool pictures of our nursing pinning ceremony for the students that graduate. They have their own pinning ceremony. And then I'm going to invite Ms. Palmieri up so she could talk a little bit about, from a faculty perspective, of what to expect in the program.
Good morning, everybody. And of course, if you have any other questions, because this is very condensed information, a lot of information, you can always reach out to anybody from our from admissions.
Yeah, and all of our contact information is on the website. So it's your easiest way. If you go to the admission part of the website, you can find all of our contact information there.
What I'm going to do, and I'm going to segue, is just share something with you. Just a little video about 2-minute video about our program.
So this is a nursing learning lab, and this is new. This is our first year. It's 1 year old, so we're very excited that we have this lab, because this is really the heart of our program. The students love to be here. They love to come in and practice, and they meet each other, and they really, socialize here too with each other. So it's not all work. A lot of it's fun. The students who come here, they do deserve this. They're wonderful students. The best day of my year, I tell my whole family and tell my students, is the pinning ceremony and graduation day. So when I sit there and see them get their pin, that they're graduate of our program, it changes their lives. Overnight, it changes their lives. So to me, that is just so rewarding. It's also very rewarding for them that they can give back to humanity. And they get jobs. They get great jobs. I tell them, the world's your oyster. As a nurse, so many options of what they can do. They can go in school nursing, they can go in acute care, they can go in the community, they can be a teacher. There's so many things that they can do. A few years ago, I was walking down a hospital unit with my 10 students behind me, and a woman was in the hospital with her husband with a very serious illness, and she asked what college they were from, and they said Bloomfield College. She said, that makes me so happy, because I've heard that is the best nursing program. I think our graduates are known not just in New Jersey, they're getting jobs all over. So I think that our reputation really is fantastic, and the students are what really make that reputation for us. I think this school has so much more to offer than a big program where I've taught in big programs where you're a number. You are not a number here. You are an individual. Everybody knows your name, not just in nursing. They know your name at the registrar, they know your name in the cafeteria, they know your name everywhere. And it's just very personal. Plus, we have one of the highest NCLEX pass rates in the state. I mean, that certainly helps. It's, helps our reputation, and students have to pass that licensing exam in order to get a job. So it's a tough market now to get a job. But our students are they're really doing well. They all get jobs when they graduated. That's so great. Yeah.
That's just a little segue into what I'm going to discuss. How we can stress in the curriculum. Just cancel this.
This is one-on-one.
All right. So Julia very meticulously went over all of the pre-nursing or how to get into the program. But I guess what I want to talk to you about, and I think what you're here to know a little bit about, is our curriculum. And also, what is the difference? A lot of times, I built this presentation up just based upon families' questions when they've come to open houses. And I really want to start with the basics because just the language, the community, the public in general, often has a difficult time discerning, what is it they hear, what is an LPN? They hear an RN. Well, you can become an RN by going to a school of nursing. And this is correct, so I just want to discern the language. You may have heard the term LPN, which is a licensed practical nurse. That is not what we are talking about today. That is very different from an RN. So if you are a licensed practical nurse or an LPN, you certainly can go back to school and acquire your BSN, which is your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. But what we're looking here is not an LPN program. I have had families ask me that question. What you're here for today is to learn about how to become an RN. Okay? And I'm going to go over this, is that all students, whether you graduate from a college or a nursing school, like a diploma program, or an associate program, which is a community school, Essex County Community College, Oregon, all the community colleges. When you graduate from those 3 schools, baccalaureate, associate, or a diploma program, there's not many left in New Jersey in the same outside school of nursing. Everyone sits for this NCLEX that Julie was talking to, our high pass rates. In order to become a nurse, it's not enough that you graduate with a BSN. After our students graduate, they must sit for the NCLEX. Once you pass the NCLEX, it's administered by the state of New Jersey from the New Jersey Board of Nursing. Then you officially become an RN. So it's not enough your journey to become a nurse doesn't just stop at graduation. You need to take this RN, and that's where Julie was referring to our high NCLEX pass rates. We do have the highest pass rate in baccalaureate programs in New Jersey, and it is 94. We're waiting for 2015 to come in. I think it's in the 90s. So far it's in the 90s, but not everybody has finished taking the exam yet. But why a bachelor's degree? Why are you here spending 4 years of your life when you can go to an associate degree program that takes 2 years, or a diploma program that can take 2 to 3 years? Well, quite honestly, bachelor degrees provide further opportunities for your academic future. For example, once you have your bachelor's degree, you can go on to graduate school. You can go on to graduate school to become a nurse practitioner, a nurse administrator, or a nurse educator. That's what I am, a nurse educator. And nurse educators also practice in hospitals as well, not necessarily in schools of nursing. And then the next step might be a PhD or an EDD, or even now it's not up here, but a DNP. So nursing education grows and flourishes, but you can only climb that ladder of academic success by having a bachelor's degree. So what is our sophomore year look like? We're going to have student, Mel will be providing for you as a junior student. I'll be providing for you what it's like to be a nursing student in the program. So sophomore year, and I teach at the sophomore level. I teach either of these courses. So this is just an example of what sophomore year might look like for you. Forget economics. This is old. You don't need to take economics anymore. That's old curriculum. Forget that. You'll have to take chemistry, foundations of professional practice, and also health and physical assessment. So the bolded courses are the NUR courses, the nursing courses that you take sophomore year. Then you go into the spring. So this is the fall, and this is the spring. In the spring, you'll be taking statistics, which will prepare you for your research course, microbiology, and then pharmacology and adult health 1. Again, those are bolded because those are nursing courses. I personally teach
fall,
adult health 1. Sometimes
spring.
I teach pharmacology if they need me to. So I'm going to just be honest. Julia referred to it before. You might be thinking, and I've had parents ask me this question, how do you have 66 or 70 students in the program at sophomore year, but you're only graduating 25? Sometimes we've had 30, 32. I think one year we had 36 students. It depends on how many we take in. But I have to be honest with you, it is really a culture shock for students to come into the nursing program. It is very, very different from the other majors here at the college. The students are literally, as Mel will tell you, studying 24/7. And they're just not prepared. Sometimes, kids coming out of high school, 18, 19 years old, think they're coming to college to party. And we do have fun. We have a lot of fun together, which I think Mel can say. The students become very, very close. it becomes their family. It really does become their family, they bond. But it's really tough to get through the curriculum. We have a lot of support, however. Junior year is a mixture of, it's changed slightly, but fall semester patho, psych nursing, and nursing research. And then junior year spring, growth and development has since moved over here. You take adult health to maternity, peds, and growth and development. And then perhaps you still need to take other general education requirements. And then you progress to senior year. I wish it went this fast. Don't you wish it went this fast enough, right? Now you're in senior year, now you're taking adult health 3, your capstone, and then senior spring, your community health, your capstone 2, your management and leadership. And then we do provide, embedded in our curriculum, is an NCLEX review class that's embedded right in the curriculum. So you don't have to pay. You can. Some students do pay to take an additional, but why take it when we have one right here embedded into our curriculum for you? So there's something else I want to say. Another question that you might have is, when do we start going into the hospital setting? The clinical lab experience starts day 1. So for example, these students, first semester, nursing students, health and physical assessment, you begin your clinical experience, your lab experience right in the lab through simulation, through communication, through practicing communication skills, as well as visiting one community setting where you are interviewing older adults. Then spring semester, sophomore year, adult health 1, which is what I currently am teaching, which that changes all the time, we take you into the clinical setting as well. 1 week you'll be in the lab, practicing medication administration, injections, dressing changes, how to take care of a client with a feeding tube or Foley catheter, and then the next week we go into the clinical setting and we care for clients. So it's in every other week, 1 week in the lab, 1 week in the hospital setting, or nursing home setting, long-term care setting. And then as you can see, junior year again, students are in clinical again, they're in behavioral health psychiatric units. Junior year, they're in, again, the hospital, as well as maternity and pediatrics experience. And then again, senior year, they're in the hospital again, and then they're in the community. So for 6 semesters, students are getting some type of lab, clinical, hands-on experience here. And that's another, I feel, very positive part of the program that really prepares students for the people-based part of nursing. A lot of times students come here thinking that nursing is all about giving medications and doing CPR and doing all these dramatic interventions. When a very recent article just came out that 80% of what's done in nursing is communication. It's talking. It's learning how to make a connection with an individual. So therefore, we teach our students very early on about cultural humility, developing therapeutic communication skills, about developing professional communication skills, because that really is paramount to nursing. Critical thinking, we haven't even talked about critical thinking. Critical thinking, clinical judgment, clinical reasoning is paramount. And we try to foster those competencies every single semester. So I think that, in general, that covers the very basics. I would like to ask if you have any questions about anything that Julia or myself have presented before we introduce Mel. Any questions or comments, clarifications? Yes?
What's the curriculum for because freshman?
Okay, so for freshman year, I don't have that.
It's the first one that we put up.
But I think I X'd out. So that might be a little bit different, and that would be different for every student, right? So it depends on your placement test, I think, right?
Yeah, but generally during your pre-nursing program, you have to complete these 7 courses before you're gained acceptance as a nursing major into clinicals and rounds. We just got the information recently this past year. The students do over 900 hours of clinical work in the nursing program before they graduate. So they really get a lot of experience with that hands-on work, working with patients, working with other nurses, not over 900 hours in the hospitals getting that hands-on work before they graduate. So it's great experience.
What's also, this is this is for transfers. If you started off at college, the GEO is missing.
Oh, the GEO, okay.
GEO.
There's also GEO.
Yeah, there's a GEO course, a freshman seminar, which I think sometimes transfers don't have to take it.
Right.
But if you're a freshman here, GEO is our freshman seminar.
Yes.
Did that answer? Yes, sorry.
I have another question for you. Now, in spite of you completing this course this year for your first year, if you do not pass that exam, the TIS, what is it, 5 exam,
Yes,
you cannot get it into nursing.
that is correct. That is correct.
That's why it's so important to go to those tutoring sessions, those workshops, those test preps, and a 60% or better on average is where the students are getting in. As you saw, about 2 students in the 50 percentile did. I'm assuming their GPAs were perfect with that test score, but generally 60% or higher is where the students are passing and getting into the program.
And I want to add, there is a correlation I'm seeing between students who barely get in on the student exams and success in the nursing program. So we see students in those high 50s, low 60s. Generally speaking, they really have, they're challenged in the program. They're often not successful. Oh, one thing I needed to add onto the question, and this really should be in my presentation. This is critical. When you're in the nursing program, if you do not pass a nursing course, you can repeat it the following year. But if you fail that course again, or if you fail another nursing course, you can no longer remain in the nursing major. You can remain in the college, you just have to switch your majors. So that is something that I want to be very transparent about. I have had over the years, multiple students that were unsuccessful in the nursing program, but that went on to graduate with a psychology degree, or a sociology degree, or philosophy degree, and then they went to another school to pursue an accelerated program. That's another conversation, but there's other options if you are unsuccessful, and I'm just being honest and transparent, that does happen. But we are here to support you, to ensure that you do graduate with a degree, and sometimes you go on to do something else and you're totally thrilled with it, or sometimes students will graduate, like I said, with a psychology degree, and they will attend an accelerated program, and they can become a nurse that way. There's multiple routes to become a nurse. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Just your class size?
Good, excellent question. So we have small class sizes, even though we have, let's say we admit, sophomore year our class sizes are big. This semester, I have 60 students, but we break them up into 2 sections, so it's 30 and 30. That's very big, but in our labs, we only have 10 or 12. So by the state law of New Jersey, we're only allowed to have no more than 10 students in a clinical or lab section. And because of that, that gives us very small working groups. But the largest you'll ever see is 30 in a classroom.
Yeah, question here.
Like, if you were at OPN already and like you have some credits, do you still have to take this course?
Okay, good question. So if you're an LPN already, and if you've already had credits from an associate degree program,
So for the LPN, it would be on a course-by-course basis, so you would have to get that evaluated by advisors. Some don't transfer it at all, and some do. It just depends on the course. So what you would have to do is submit your transcript from the LPN program to our advising to the admission office. We would send it over to the advisors, and they will articulate it essentially to determine what exactly will transfer and what will transfer and if anything.
So what's the, like, the address where I can transfer this transcript?
It should be on the application. I don't know if you all have an application in your bag, and it should be on there. One Park Place is the Office of Admission, but there's probably a different address on the application itself. But you can, One Park Place, Bloomfield, New Jersey.
they do.
Okay, you also can see that. And the zip is 07003. Twice. And it's the best, obviously, the best one.
I'm sorry, I'm piggybacking off of this is a typical high school that has an allied medical program, and she's already taking some of those courses. But
If she gets college credit for them.
yes.
So if you have college credit for them, then I would submit the transcript. This goes for any student in here. I mean, obviously, we're all nursing students here, but any student in here from any high school that has ever taken a college level course or an AP course and gotten credit for it, you should always be sending in that transcript to the college, to any college that you're going to, so that they can articulate it to see if you get credit for it. Because that might, definitely might help you out.
Tú lo estás haciendo.
There's another question?
¿Tú vas tú?
So some programs use T, some use a HESI. So
There is
most
a-
programs have it.
Every
Yeah.
school that you speak to will have a nursing entrance exam, ours are the T's, but there's two that you usually choose from.
If you take that, some students will take it in the spring prior to the fall vacation, but some take it in the fall before.
Yeah, well, you really want to take it so if you're coming in for the fall semester, you want to take it by that May 1st deadline. So generally, if you're a student in the nursing program, like if you're in Bloomfield as a pre-nursing student, then you want to take it in your spring semester before you're looking to get in for the fall semester. Does that make sense?
Yeah, wait, one more time, sorry.
So let's say you're a great student and you're coming in your first year, and you're doing everything on par to get in for that next fall. So let's say you start fall 15. No, I'm sorry, you guys would be fall 16. And you're doing everything that you can possibly do, and you're a great student, and you're passing everything, and now you want fall 16 to try to get into nursing.
Okay.
That spring 16 semester is when you should be taking the TEAS exam. Yes?
For the TEAS exam, if you're a transferring student, when do you anticipate taking?
The same thing,
Same
before
thing.
that May 1st date.
And also, is there?
I would even go before April
You
1st.
could, you can even get it in the fall, like a year
Yeah.
prior.
Is there a GPA criteria?
2.5. There was a question here.
What's the passing score?
The NCLEX, a passing score for, well, 94% of our students pass it. I think we had 33 students take it this past year, 31 passed.
No, like.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean, okay. That's determined by the state of New Jersey, and it's an electronically based exam, and they determine how many questions you have to get right. Yeah,
So it probably varies from year to
Yeah.
year.
yes, it does.
We wanted to know what's the policy on students that were in the nursing program at another school and are dismissed because of the.
They're admitted just like anybody else.
Another question now, what kind of support do you have students per level as far as math? I know there's math involved, and do you have tutors available as for nursing course?
Okay, that's a really good question, excellent question. We do not have nursing academic support per se, but if you are struggling in math or writing, which is very big elements, huge contribution into being successful in nursing, we have that at Sitel. Did you see Sitel today? I guess you're gonna see Sitel.
On the campus tour, you'll see it,
You'll
but it was
see-
on the PowerPoint.
I highly recommend that everybody here goes to see Sitel to become very familiar with their tutorial services. We do not have a nursing tutor, however, we do have peer mentors and we have very hands-on lab staff. So peer mentors are nursing students who have been handpicked by faculty who are deemed very successful in the nursing program, who spend many hours every week working with our nursing students.
So they offer help, they volunteer their time.
They get paid.
Well, they get paid by a grant. So our peer mentors are a paid position, it's only 5 hours a week. That's more for skill building and professionalism. The actual tutoring will happen in Sitel. But we do not have nursing tutors. Let's say you're struggling in pharmacology, or you're struggling in adult health 1. There is not a specific tutor for that.
No.
Yeah.
One further clarification, that is your spring 2016 freshman year that you're doing that here, and then your fall, which would be your sophomore year, 2016 admission into the nursing program.
Idealistically, yes.
That's what the first question was.
Yes.
To
This would be freshman. Yeah, that's correct, right, Julia? This would be
Yes,
freshman
just to
year.
help, you know.
And this would be sophomore. Yes, that's correct. Now, you can still take it
Early.
first semester. You could. I mean, if students have
But this is for transfer students.
Okay.
So if you're a freshman, then you would come in fall 2016, but you would be looking at fall 2017 for the nursing, for actual nursing major. Because, so you would be then doing this spring 2017 for the TEAS exam. Because you have to take those, you can't take those prerequisite courses until you're actually in the school. So you would start in fall 2016 with these prerequisite courses as a freshman. As long as you're successfully passing them and coming through, then in spring 2017 is when you would want to do the TEAS.
Okay, so that leads into my second question. Because we downloaded from the website prerequisites, and there are two prerequisites I see in the nursing program in here that I don't see up there. One is a psychology, and one is associate.
So those are classes you will take, but they're not required to get into the nursing program.
Okay.
So like, this is not a full freshman year schedule.
Right.
So like, if you only took 7 classes, you haven't actually done a full load.
So
Does
they're
that make
not
sense?
prerequisites,
They just are part of the program. They're part of the program, but they're not, you don't have to take them to get into the nursing program, but you will take them to graduate. Does that make sense?
You will need prerequisites to graduate,
But not So like to fill your schedule freshman year, you might be in English 106, first year math 130, in the fall bio 205, and maybe nursing, or maybe the nutrition class, or maybe psych or sociology instead. And then the next semester you're in 107, 140, 206, and psych, sociology, or nutrition. But so long as you're taking those 7, then you're on track to start all
Just to clarify, so you see these are the college prerequisites, the psych and social, you do need to graduate from the nursing program, but everybody, every single graduate has to have, well,
Okay, so that clarifies the thing.
Yeah, so that's just to fill up your schedule in the first year, but it's not necessarily to get into the nursing program, but graduate.
so we're gonna take 2 more questions, then we'll have to know.
Yes. See your better.
Tiene preguntas.
And one more question.
For students who don't qualify for financial aid, do you have help or programs that for you?
So the scholarship that you
La voz de Samara es vacancísima, sin micrófono.
considered for
El
would
otro no
be
tiene
if
que
you
hablar
have
alto.
the 3.0 or higher GPA with 30 or more college
Me está
credits.
hablando con el micrófono apagado.
And that starts at $5,000 a year. So what I would honestly suggest for you, because if you live on campus, we're $40,000 a year. If you commute, we're $30,000. So what I would suggest is start looking at outside scholarships now. Because if you have the minimum 3.0 30 credits, you're only getting $5,000, that's not gonna help you with $30,000. So I would start looking at outside
¿Cuánto
scholarships.
tiene?
Fastweb.com, scholarships.com,
Ahorita llega, ¿no? Pues, si no.
College Board. These are all websites you can go to look at the scholarships outside of the college district to attend.
Pero tiene 5.000 latas. Eso te ayuda, dice la mano.
Possibly can take, for example, one of those classes, I would maybe also be
Yes, but you still have to take it in the time frame. So like if you want to get in, if you're a freshman, fall 2016, and you're looking to come in to nursing for fall 2017, and for whatever reason you want to take anatomy or physiology, or you took anatomy physiology at Essex County, as long as you take it before the end of that spring 2017 semester, you should still be okay for fall 2017.
So because we have to move on, we do have on a very tight schedule, we're just gonna let Zamel, who is our, current junior student, just share a little bit of his experience, and then if you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer them afterwards if I can. And when we do exit, if you are interested in exiting out this door, I can very quickly show you the nursing labs. Or if you're not interested, you can just go out that door. But this is Zamel Mitchell, he is a current first semester junior student here in the nursing program. Share your
¿Te
storytelling.
cambiaste allá?
Hi guys, good morning. Raise your hand, who wants to be a nurse? All right, raise those hands high. Raise your hands high, because if you cannot raise those hands high, get up. I'm so serious. When I first entered nursing, I thought, nursing is cool. I sit on TV, they give medications, everyone wants to be a doctor. That's what it says. Everyone wants to be an MD, walk around with a big white lab coat. Yeah, that's cool. No one wants to, watch people and give medications and draw blood. That's where it's at, people. I'm telling you right now. This is such a fulfilling profession, but you have to be adamant in what you do. I came in fall 2013, I think, with about 300 other pre-nursing students. And they told me right away, this profession is competitive. If you don't work hard, you're not going to get it. Of my friends, maybe it was about 20 of us, only 2 of us got in on time. A lot of my friends are juniors now, and they just got into the program. My class started out with about 66 students. We lost 25% of them already. This stuff is hard. And if you don't work hard for it, you're not going to get it. And I tell students all the time when I speak to them, don't do this because your mom's a nurse, your dad's a nurse. Don't do this for the money. There's better jobs out there. There's not better jobs out there. There are other jobs out there that you can make more money or as equal. This stuff is hard. You have to do this because you're adamant about it, because you want to take care of people. When they said about the whole staying up, giving up your weekends, that is true. And after I leave here and I'm done with you guys, I have to go back to finish studying. I have 4 exams next week. I have a case study due. I have a summative evaluation. I have a 5-page self-evaluation to do. Then after that, I have 3 exams. I have 3 final exams. Plus, I'm a resident advisor on campus, so I have to deal with resident students. You know what happened when I was studying last night? 3 parties broke out on campus last night. I had to stop studying and go take care of that. Wasted 3 hours of my time. I had to come back, finish studying, then go sleep till 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to wake up at 7 to come to work. Last week, I was up 4 days straight. No, can we up? Jesus. But that's how it is. I had to give up a lot of my free time, going out with my friends. I haven't been able to go on Netflix or anything or play my games. I bought a $400 PS4 and I barely even touched it. Because this is the lifestyle that you're gonna live. Your freshman year is your best year, literally. I had a 4.0 my freshman year. I got all 8, well 3.9 because I got A-. But I had so much fun my freshman year because I was a pre-nursing student. I had no responsibilities. I wasn't in any orgs. I had a job, but it was like and then everything was easy, all A's. When I got into my sophomore year, I got into a nursing program. I joined Team Infinite, which is student work on campus. I joined the Male Empowerment Network, which is student work on campus. Became vice president of that organization, joined the National Society for Leadership Success. And then I had the nerve to become a tutor on campus. And then I became a resident advisor for freshman students and a whole bunch of other things I was doing. I had class from 8 a.m. to 9:45 p.m. In addition to that, I had a whole lot of other responsibilities to do. This stuff is not easy, but it's when you go into the clinical settings and you take care of these people and you see the impact that you're making in their lives, it really speaks out to you and it says, wow, I really want to do this. And in the classes themselves, you learn so much information. You're not just only a nurse for the people you take in the hospital. You're a nurse for your mom, your dad, your friends, the church, people in the corner, your neighbors. They're all going to come to you and ask you some information, and it feels good when you know it. When you can tell them, yeah, I think you might have a bleeding ulcer. You should probably go get that checked out. Or when you're in the hospital and you see a patient, yeah, I think he's having a stroke. We need to call this code right away. Or when someone's choking and you can perform the hypotension for something as simple as that. The courses are tough. You know, these prerequisite courses, those courses aren't that tough. If you have good understanding, you study, you work hard, you can pass them. Starting your sophomore year is when you really realize what this stuff is truly about. When you start your clinical experience, your first day, 7 in the morning, you walk onto that floor, and those smells hit you, you hear those bells ring, patients crying, you see blood and feces and vomit. That's when you really want to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? When your professor says, here, you're taking care of Miss So-and-so today, she's 102 years old, she has HIV, she also has COPD, she has diabetes, she also has a wound infection. I need you to go in there, put on your sterile gloves, get her up, you have to go clean it. And then she's incontinent, so every time you change her, she keeps coming out, keep coming out, keep coming out. You can change her about 20 times already. Not only that, she's 300 pounds, so you have to turn her over and clean it. And then we turn it over, guess what? You find even more stuff. You have to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? This stuff is hard, and you're going to deal with this for the next 3 years of your life. So when you come in, I really encourage you, enjoy yourself. Be a freshman, go to those parties, develop this social connection, and make sure that your GPA is within high standing from the jump. If you can get a 3.5 or higher when you come in, that's really going to save you for when you're, right now I'm struggling to get a C. I really don't care about A or B right now. As long as I can get a C, a 74 or higher, because not only do you need to have a 74 to pass the class, you have to have a 74 test average. So to do all your tests, do exams, the projects, and then, okay, that's adds up to a 74. But if you have an exam, say one exam was a 78, one exam was a 64, one exam got a 79, and one exam got an 80, if your test average alone doesn't add up to a 74, you're gone. So that's nothing you have to worry about. Not only am I doing good in my classes, how am I doing good testing? And in the clinical setting too, when you have sometimes your clinicals are 12 hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Why? That's a nursing shift. You go to labor and delivery, you go to psych, you go to med surg, you go to telemetry, you go to all these different places so we can get the experience that we need. That's even more critical because now you're dealing with real people. We have math exams every semester. The math exam may not seem all that great, but you need a 90% of that math exam in order to pass. Which means you can only get one question wrong. before you fail. And they give you another chance to take it again. And then, again, you have to get a 90 to pass. And if you fail, you're out. So that's why this stuff is so important, that you really look at yourself now and say, this is something I really want to do. I'm going to have to put off that turn up. I can't hang out with my friends and stuff like that right now. Parents, you have to understand that your kids need their time. You cannot be asking them to clean and do this all the time. I know culture-wise sometimes this is something you're used to, but when you see your son or your daughter studying, that's their study time. They really need this stuff. Chapters in pharmacology, adult health, these chapters about 14, 15 chapters long. Maybe 20 pages each. That book is thick. And that really becomes your medical Bible. Everything that you know is going to be in those books. So I don't do this to scare you, but I really need to give you a wake-up call to let you know that this stuff is real. But you have to go with a positive attitude. I have people in my class always complain about this and the third. I smile every day and thank God that I'm here. You know what I'm saying? If you go with a positive attitude, you know what, this stuff is hard. I can see myself right now graduating, you know, as a Mel Mitchell, nurse, walking to the floor, making $75,000. I cannot wait. And after that, I'm gonna get my master's, become a nurse practitioner. I'm gonna get my doctorate, do whatever I want to do. And that's how I see myself. When I look at the graduating students, Bianca Poole, she graduated a couple years ago. She has 3 nursing jobs right now, just got engaged. We have another student, I think her name was Jasmine, graduated about 5 years ago. She just finished her master's degree, became a nurse practitioner at Rutgers 2 weeks ago. And that's where I want to see myself. So if you can see yourself there, and I can see myself there, there's no reason why we can't do this together. So nice meeting all you guys. You guys have any questions? I'm your tour guide. For those of you who want to see the simulation lab, we'll take you there.
Otherwise, you can follow me back. Just some quick notes. We have 10% off in the bookstore today for any of you that want to